post this.
Okay.
Brilliant. Great. Welcome to everyone who is joining in right now. Great to see you all here on a Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. If you can hear me, just to start off with, can you just quickly mention on the chat window by saying hi or hey? So I'm aware that you can hear us. Great. I can see a lot of people saying hi. Great to see you guys here. Hi, Riddhi. Hi, Sayam. Hi, Arjun Raj. Brilliant. So I'm pretty sure that I can be heard. One of the quick things I'll tell you, which will help you, when you're responding on the chat, it might be helpful if you just say hi to all panelists and attendees. So right now you're just saying hi to all panelists. Therefore, you'll not be able to see each other's comments. But if you just say hi to all panelists and attendees, that will be, you'll be able to see everyone's comments and things around that. So this evening we are going live with Arijit Mukherjee, and Arijit is the senior machine learning engineer at Quantify, and we're really excited for this session. So I'll very quickly just introduce him as well. But just before we begin, a few things just for your reference, right? So one thing is use the chat. We want to make sure that this session is as engaging for you and beneficial for you. So that I'm sure you've come with many questions, specific questions in your mind. So there's a Q&A tab. I'd request you to add, every single question you have in the Q&A, and leave the Q&A not to say hi, just leave the Q&A to put in your question. So you might have a question. Many of our, previous, attendees have come in saying, I have 5 years experience. I'm in, EdTech, and I'm looking to move into data science. How do I do it? So all these sort of questions, that you might have come with, please do add them in the Q&A. Give some background to your profile, how many years of experience you have, be specific. And towards the end also, I'll be asking Arijit about these different questions that you have, so that it makes it more easier for you. And also we'll make sure that we can unmute some of you at the end, so that you can ask your questions directly to Arijit. So do keep a tab on that. So just before we begin, just to help Arijit understand how many years of experience, the attendees have today, plus what is the outcome that you're, looking for. Just do let us know, and this will be helpful. So number one is years of experience. Number two is how is machine learning impacting the industry? Is that what you want to know about? How do I understand if I can build my career in machine learning? Do you want to know more about Upgrad's machine learning programs? Do you want to just have you come here just to upskill yourself to know more from a senior machine learning engineer at Quantify? So what is the outcome you're looking at from today's session? And accordingly, we will try to cater the session as effectively for you. So just to start off with, how is the flow of the session going to go? So Arijit is just going to start, with introducing himself and giving a short background as to what is machine learning really all about. Give you some idea as to how can you build a career in machine learning, the various tools, languages that one needs to pick up to go into machine learning. Some of you might be wondering, what is machine learning? What are the problems they are solving right now in the industry? So Arijit will cover that, and also look at the scope and the growth of the industry at large. Is this skill here to stay? How long is it going to last for? And if you are looking into it, like what are the various roles you can get into? So we'll start in the first 10 to 15 minutes, covering that. And thereafter, we will have a 30 to 40-minute Q&A with Arijit. And this is where, we will just cover his experience of, transitioning into machine learning, where his career started, what are the steps he's taken, what are the various decisions he had to make to finally, reach to where he is right now. And similarly, what is his experience of pursuing upgrades programs? What did he find beneficial, not find beneficial, and things around that. So that will sort of give you an understanding also for the various questions you have. And also during that period, we will be picking up all the questions you have put in the Q&A. So I myself will be looking at the Q&A, and answering that for your reference point. So do keep the questions in there, and we will make sure to ask that. So just to begin, I just opened the Q&A, and I saw the first question asking, what is Upgrad? So maybe I'll just quickly start. So Upgrad is an online edtech firm, and we look at upskilling, working professionals in tech skills, one of which is, machine learning, data science, software development, many of these various skills. And these programs are designed with industry professionals, and also with some of the top leading universities across India and also the globe. So for us specifically, for those who are interested in machine learning, we have a machine learning program which is with Triple IT Bangalore, which is a university there, and also we have a master's in machine learning, which is from Liverpool John Moores University, which is based in the UK. And also many of our learners who've enrolled have taken WES credits, to also use that to migrate things around that. So that just very shortly is who Upgrad is. And this session that we're having today is just to get you face to face with some of Upgrad's alumni. So those who have actually pursued some of the programs, have finished the programs, found them beneficial in such a way. And today we have Arijit, who's now who I would now term not a learner but probably an expert in machine learning to some extent, and we're really excited to have him. So Arijit, finished his education with Calcutta University, and he's worked in various organizations across where he's worked with Quantify, he's worked with Impetus as well, and he's moved up the ladder, and finally he's worked as a senior machine learning engineer. So without further ado, Arijit, very excited to have you on board with us, and why don't over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Stephen, for the introduction. So, good evening to everyone. So, I'll just begin with my career and my education. So, uh, I started out my career in 2014, and I changed around five companies in between. And I started out as an analyst. I was working for Diebold Systems Private Limited, and Diebold manufactures ATMs. Okay, so I was part of the EDI process over there. So mainly you have shipments, remittance advices, those kind of stuff coming in. So I was into Java back then. That's how I started my career. And later on, I had small involvement with some total systems. I was working with front end over there because they have a HRMS application that they use. So that's where I was for around 4 5 months, and then I did my masters, and this was a different course from Triple IT Hyderabad itself, but it's a very different course. I mean, it's not like mentioned in their website and all. So I was doing my MS in information technology over there, and then I had a friend of mine. His name is also Gaurav. He's also part of Upgrad alumni. So Gaurav, Vipin, there are a few other folks. So we had a small group over there, and we all took Upgrad's course, and we enrolled into post graduation diploma in machine learning and AI. So I mean, having a team really helped with this course because this course is really intense, and the more people you get to have with to do these problems, to do the coursework, it helps you. So then I had an internship. I mean, after everything completed, I had an internship with General Electric. So that was for around 6 months. And after that, I joined Impetus. Now, I got the offer from Impetus from Upgrad's Career Drive itself. So that was like in 2019, and I joined on October 2019 with Impetus. So I was with Impetus for a year, and the reason I changed to Quantify was that I was looking for a better project because now I had the degree, I had the skills, and I thought it is the right time to make a jump. So in between, I did a certification also, and this was the machine learning certification from AWS. So that also helped me a lot for transitioning into a better role because uh, aside from degrees, if you have something from the industry that proves your worth, it really puts you forward. I mean, ahead of all the other competition that you're going to have because. We know that machine learning is a very competitive field right now. Everybody wants to jump into the same boat. So the more credentials you have and the more degrees and work that you can show to the interview panelists, so it will help you to get I mean to gather the job that you're seeking for. And my current profile is with Quantify. So Quantify is a AI consultant company, and we have multiple projects across. I mean, we have partnerships with Microsoft, we have partnerships with Nvidia, even we have partnerships with AWS, and all these projects are funded by all these companies because we are completely into the research domain. I mean, the pipelines that we build are into the research domain. So the resources that we have are funded by them itself. So it's not like money they are paying for that. So every company chips in their own research part into it also. So right now the project that I'm working is with video analytics. So basically, it's a project with the warehouse where you want to help the people who arrange the stuff on the pallets and where they keep the stuff on the trucks using detection and classification. So when I'm talking about the different things that I'm doing right now, I also want to touch on the other things that are happening in machine learning right now. So you have NLP over NLP. You have, there is one section, then you have time series, another section, and I mean, there are multiple things. I mean, if I start telling you about all the things, I mean, it will be a huge talk. And upgrade scores actually helped me with that. I mean, the first thing before you do any kind of course or whatever you want to pursue with, you want to be cognizant of what's happening, right? What are the different kinds of things that's happening? So upgrade scores really helped me in that, because the modules were nicely arranged. You have a graded section in the end, and then you have an exam also. So the structure that they had given, so that kind of creates a box in your mind, like this belongs there, this belongs to there, and that's how you can create a bigger picture of where, which domain you want to pursue. So in that sense only, so I also got offers from Fractal, and I had also got another offer from a startup in Pune, and that was also in video analytics. So I chose Image because I want to be in the video analytics. It's not like I have anything against NLP or something. I mean, you guys can choose anything, any domain that you want to go forward with. But I wanted to be in the video analytics section because if you see the scale of the things that is getting processed, right? I mean, the data that comes in from the cameras and all, it's really challenging, and I enjoy working on that. So and
Great.
that's why I chose this role from Quantify.
Great.
And yeah, Stefan.
Yeah, great. So, just thinking, like, even as you're hearing your story, right, and how you transitioned and, moved into so various roles. When you started out with machine learning, where was the first time you heard about machine learning specifically? And, why did you think, okay, this is something I should build my career into?
Okay, uh, so one of my friends, I mean Gaurav again, so he told me about this machine learning thing, that ad he had seen in YouTube, and he had also a brother who stays in Israel, and he
Hmm.
also works in agriculture sector. But the project that they work on is very exciting. They see the patch of the land, and then they tell you whether it is going to cultivate that particular kind of crop or not.
Got
So
it.
when I heard about that, I became very excited. I mean that's a huge possibility, right? Something that I
Hmm.
hadn't heard before. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's great. And even now, like there are so many different industries it's getting into. Is there any industry that machine learning is not moving into, and or do you see this like seeping into all the various sectors across all the industries?
I think machine learning slowly is going to be some sort of an awareness that everybody needs to have, because every thing that we use, every click and every site that we visit is data, right? And it's getting processed. So
Mm,
to understand how the things happen, I mean, I think everybody needs to have certain awareness about data science. And
mm,
I think the data science is going to seep into every industry coming, I mean, from manufacturing optimizations to power delivery systems. Then I am doing in CRM projects. You have
mm,
machine learning involvement over there also. Even
yeah,
cameras use AI now. So
yeah,
I think
correct.
it's endless,
Mm,
the scope.
yeah. There's an interesting question. Like, I'm also looking at the Q&A that we have a lot of different attendees who have joined in from various roles. Data science, machine learning, they're very similar, it seems like at times. And how do people differentiate between, machine learning and data science? And what are those two different, if you can just like, lightly touch upon the different roles that are there in both these, skills, and how do people, the different jobs they do essentially. Can you touch on that?
Sure, sure. So machine learning. So my role is an engineer, right? So it is something that. So if I have a paper, I mean, somebody has written a paper on a particular problem that we were solving. So my
Mm,
job as an engineer is to implement that into production, and I
got
have
it.
to make sure that it performs.
Hmm.
So the challenges that I face are whether the timelines are met or not, because when you have a model running and it is going to detect certain images or any kind of data, it will have an inference time, right? So
Hmm.
you have an agreement with the customer that I should get it under 10 or 20 milliseconds, otherwise the request is going to expire. So
Hmm.
I have to make sure that those requirements are met, and I have to make sure that if there are any glitches, I can fix it. And I can also, I should also look forward to it that if the customer wants to add something or change
Hmm.
something, I can do it. So that's the role of an engineer. Now, if you look at data scientists as such, they will have a more research oriented role, where
Hmm. Yeah.
they will have to probably I mean write their own paper, or maybe implement a research project that has never been done before.
Hmm.
So it's not, I mean, there are differences, but that doesn't mean that data scientist doesn't have to do an engineer role and engineer doesn't have to do a research role. It can be interchanged also. It all depends on the role, I mean what position and what's the situation of the team that you're part of.
Hmm.
So
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
So what are the various, I think a lot of notion is there, people saying, okay, I have, X amount of experience. I don't have, any relevant experience. I might not even know coding, for example. So is it true that, coders can't get into this field, or is there room for people to pick it up, maybe learn Python or things like that, and then, pick up machine learning essentially? So, yeah, what do you think on that?
So coding definitely helps. I mean, that's like common sense. I mean,
Yeah.
if you know something to code, if you know SQL, if you know front end. So I'm going to give a very simple example. So if you want to develop a chatbot, right? So
Hmm.
a chatbot needs a very good front end, because the user doesn't care what's the logic behind it running. He wants a
Yeah.
good experience, right? So if
Yeah.
somebody has a good front end experience, that will definitely help them.
Hmm.
And again, at the same time, if you are building a microservices framework, so
Hmm.
if you have a microservices experience, that's going to help. But I would suggest that if you don't have coding experience, it doesn't mean that you cannot do this, but it is good to have a coding experience. It will help you in your journey. That's what I will say, because
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. And somebody who does not have a coding experience right now, and wants to, has the passion and has the grit to, saying, I want to do it. Is it impossible for them to pick it up, or can they do it, in your opinion?
I think it's definitely possible. Why not? I mean, you have various. I think in this lockdown time, when you're sitting at home, you can just go on and keep on doing the tutorials. That's like the best thing. Do certifications, take coding exercises, take few courses in Udemy, or like upgrades thing on machine learning is very extensive. If somebody does that completely, I think they're definitely fit for getting a job, because that's how I got my first data science job, and that was in Impetus.
Yeah.
So I'm very honest about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about, those, I see a few learners who have joined in who are like, graduates right now, and they have coding experience, they've studied it, they are in it. How do they sort of, they have some sort of advantage because, they have got coding experience. What's the next step for, recent graduates? Almost 40% of those who join in also have between 0 to 2 years experience. So what about them? How do they take their next step if they want to build it in machine learning?
So if you don't have anything, right? So it's a bit of a challenge, but it's definitely not like impossible or something like that. So the best thing is you take up some projects from Kaggle. I mean, do the tried and tested ones. Take the Titanic data set, implement image classification model. Look at, so the main thing about machine learning is you have to learn and know about the architecture. So just like you scroll through the news, right? So I would suggest them to go through the architectures, like what is ResNet, what is VGGNet, how does
Hmm.
efficient net work, how does efficient net B not differ, how does efficient net work. So if the more architectures you know, the more wisdom you will have, and
Hmm.
that will definitely, help you in the interviews. And yeah, to show work, I think the competitions do help.
Help.
That's like the best way.
Brilliant. On that note, I can see another question which is coming from a attendee called Sayam. I was talking about those who that don't have coding experience. What about those who are working? So Sayam, for example, he has 7 years of experience in software development, worked on PHP, Android, iOS, and
Hmm.
he's wondering how can machine learning help boost his career. So he's really interested in machine learning, and he's saying he's participated like you just mentioned, in some vision speech hackathons using TensorFlow. But by switching to machine learning, will it really affect his career, and which way will it affect, in your opinion?
So, so machine learning is a type of a role. Okay, so it is not like it is going to take over software development completely. So, if you ask yourself the question that I want to be doing, I mean, I want to see myself doing machine learning. I want to do this. I want to research. So definitely you should go for it. That's what I will say. And if you are thinking about transitioning, so you will have 7 years of, you already have 7 years of experience, right? So grab some certifications, grab a Azure certification, grab a AWS certification, or you can get, if you know TensorFlow, you can get the TensorFlow developers certification, because TensorFlow developer certification guarantees you to get a very high paying job. I mean, they have their own group also, and that should definitely help. I mean, certifications and all.
Got it. So I think, for those who are in the software space, basically, they also can move into these sort of roles and, grow in a certain way in their careers, is what you think.
Sorry, Stefan, I was reading the question. I lost it. Could you kindly repeat again? Yeah.
No, I was saying, so those who are, studying, who are in software, for example, even for them, it's a good way to, enhance their career, picking up machine learning and sort of growing within this and working on different sort of projects, in your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, machine learning is very exciting, but it is also very challenging. It is not at all like a cakewalk. Most of the
Yeah,
times you won't get Git repositories, and if you do get, you're lucky. But if you don't get, you have to implement it on your own. So I
got it.
would suggest that the algorithms that anybody, I mean, maybe from Upgrad, or maybe I would suggest Upgrad, because the videos are really good. When professor explains the algorithm, that's like really good. It helps. It will save you time. Otherwise you have to uh, see for it yourself. You have to learn it yourself, and anyways you will be learning
Mm,
yourself, because unless you know the algorithms, how they work, the higher stuff will become very difficult. So
mm,
I would ask them to think and do very seriously whatever. I mean, if you want to do machine learning, you have to be very serious about it. It is 100% committed, and well thought out decision that it has to be.
yeah.
So
What about maths? Arjun, I see a lot of questions on maths. Like, how much of maths do I need to know? I think a lot of learners or attendees here, maybe, those who didn't put a lot of effort into maths are not very strong at maths, maybe. So, what are the areas in maths they need to focus on, and is it like, what are those aspects for pursuing a career in machine learning?
okay. So first of all, I would ask them to understand mathematical notations. What do they mean? What is a summation sign? What is the integration sign? What does dou mean? What is partial derivative? These things are like very basic. I mean, given
Okay.
somebody is a software professional or not, if I understand we don't use it, but I would ask them to go back and look at them.
Hmm.
So and if you want to understand about how we generalize stuff, so there is a very good book by Nate Silver. It is called Signal and Noise.
Hmm.
So it's a very good book. I mean, it doesn't discuss maths as in, but it tells you how maths is useful in real life also. I mean, how you can apply Bayes theorem in your real life. You can picture it yourself.
Hmm.
So don't think of it as a pain. Think of it as something very exciting, and maths is beautiful. I mean, if you haven't understood that, maybe you would understand that later on when you start getting involved. I mean, slowly you try. That's what I will tell. It's not like one day you're going to have Akashvani and everything in
Comes
your
into
head.
your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a slow process. People have to work on it slowly.
yeah, but it's
Is it
definitely
impossible?
possible.
Is
Yeah.
possible. Brilliant.
Yeah.
We're going to switch the questioning up a bit. I see a lot of questions about upgrade, asking about the program specifically. So, before I pick up those questions specifically, I want to ask, what motivated you to, study machine learning firstly? And then secondly, what motivated you to look at upgrade, and why did you pick up upgrade, and why, picking up the program?
Okay. So I think I have already told you why I got very interested in machine learning, and why I looked at Upgrad is because the course structure that Upgrad had back then. I mean, right now also the modules that have been added I don't think that other online courses do offer that.
Hmm.
And why I felt that upgrades course is useful is because the modules and the videos that you have, they are very good quality. The quality is very good. Something I think sometimes I felt it is better than online classes also. Live classes also, I mean, I felt that it is better because you can watch it again, the videos. If you
Hmm.
have doubts, you have a Q&A, and then you have the network also where other people are doing the same stuff. Like there's a side panel, you can go and just and post in your question, and you will find very knowledgeable people in there. So they will only clear your doubts. So it wasn't I never felt that this is an online course, I am distant, and this is getting very difficult for me. So
Hmm.
that was the positive point.
Yeah. So
So
what are like
yeah.
in terms of would it be fair to assume that you mentioned the structure? Was it the structure that you found very helpful that it went in a more structured flow versus something finding something online? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the structure flow is really important, right? Because when I started out machine learning, I mean, I was just doing my master's in infotech, right?
Hmm.
So I had no idea. Like, I had zero idea of how statistics work, what is, I mean,
Yeah.
the data's distribution, various kinds of distribution, visualization, why do you
Hmm.
need to do tests, and how stuff works. It's another story that we won't, I mean, on my day to day work right now, I don't use all of it, but it has
Hmm.
helped me understand why I do this. So that I think that is more important.
Yeah, got it. And just in the terms of the offline and online, you just lightly mentioned that you found it even better than the offline method. So what did you find? What was helpful for you in the online space? Was that like the self-paced learning? What are the various things that you personally found helpful for your journey?
So online space gives you the convenience that you can just do it on your phone. You can watch it in the computer screen. You can pause it. You can do it again. If you have questions, you can just post it. And
Hmm.
the best part is that when you the graded section that was there, right? And when you start answering it, because that's like a I think for first time you don't have any penalty if you get it right. For second time you have a penalty on it. That system is very good because slowly you start gaining confidence, because gaining confidence is like the best, I mean the main part, right? That you can do this. So when you answer the questions and you're getting it right, so that's like a feedback that you're getting. And that's what helped, I mean the online thing. And yeah, that's what.
Yeah, got it. That's helpful to understand. So, just I think a lot of what you're saying, because I know because I have upgrades also domain knowledge. I've currently employed with upgrad, so I know. So, talking about the learning experience, if you can unpack that, so what was that experience like? So, obviously, did you do the diploma? Or did you do the masters to start with?
I did the diploma
Okay,
because I was already getting the degree, so I thought I'd rather do the diploma.
got it.
But some of my friends did the masters, the Liverpool one.
Hmm.
And Vipin Saini, that's his name. He is also part of a AI startup right now. He's like a architect, AI architect, I guess.
Got it.
So yeah, that also, I mean, coming to the learning experience, I was very lucky to have a very interactive and very high energy group. They were always excited about AI. They had so many things to do for. We had so many ideas to do with AI. So I think the people around me helped me in my journey, and they made it very exciting, because
Hmm.
without them it would have been very difficult. So
Yeah.
the network upgrade provides is like a huge bonus. So the people you will meet in the course that are doing this, so I
Hmm.
think that goes without saying. And other than that, learning experience wise, I had small hiccups with some of the modules, but I sent out emails and then it was corrected, so no complaints regarding that. I understand that I mean it's an online platform, some mistakes might happen, but I mean
Hmm.
no such negatives as such. I mean it was a very smooth experience, although I wish sometimes the exam questions were a little bit easier.
That's a good point you brought up too. I think a few of the attendees also asking how are the exams done. Like, because I guess many people wonder, is it easy to do them from online or become offline somewhere? What was that experience like for you? And, what can you just shed some light?
So, so the exams are online proctored. Okay, it's like any certification exam that I said that you would do. So one way it gives you an experience what is like a online proctored exam. I mean, how do you feel? And you will have MCQs, and you will have inside the MCQs you will have certain theory questions, and you will have some problems to solve. I mean, maths problem.
Hmm.
And sometimes the questions will be directly from the architecture that you're learning. I mean, what is entropy, what is Gini, then why do you divide in this, what is boosted trees, what is a weak learner, what is a strong learner,
Hmm.
those kinds of stuff. So some things that you have to, you have, I mean, whatever you learn, you get it in the, you will get in the questions. And I mean, 80% of the questions is something that you will directly get from the modules, but 20% will be something you haven't seen before. So for that, you will have to work, you'll have to use your brain, and probably you'll get it right. That's what I will say.
Brilliant. That's very helpful to understand. So just, you enjoy the content, you work through that. Coming to the careers aspect, right? So many people who come to an online program are very interested to understand how will the careers aspect work. And I think Upgrade has its own career services sort of aspect to the program, so people can, get benefits in terms of the career services. And I myself was your career coach, I think, when you
Yeah,
were doing the program. So can you just
yeah.
sort of touch upon the career services right from the start? And we can talk about the hiring drive and how you transition a bit in some time. But what are the areas of the career services like mock interviews, career coachings that helped you out in your journey? If you can just touch upon that.
So, so I didn't know that Upgrad will have a exclusive career section in the first place. I thought that, I will have to, I'll do this online course and all, because I kept my expectations very realistic. I never took an online course before, and I was thinking that I have to learn as much as I can from this platform. I have to eat everything, and I have to perform very well in the interview wherever I give. That's what I was thinking.
Mm,
And then I understood that Upgrade's career service is pretty good, and I was very happy when I saw that you have separate modules for SQL interview preparation modules, and you have a
mm,
separate network where separate page where you can link your LinkedIn profile, and
mm.
you have the job postings over there. And
Yeah.
there was another session I remember where I forgot the speaker's name, but there was a session on how to improve your LinkedIn profile. I think that has helped me in more ways than I can remember, probably. I mean, how to boost your LinkedIn profile, how to present
Mm,
your LinkedIn profile, because presentation is very important, and that's the first thing that the recruiters will see, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the career section was really helpful.
Got
So,
it. That makes sense. So, like, when you said, like, I did not know that you were not even aware when I spoke to you. That's interesting.
I was
That's,
busy with the other stuff.
you're so focused on studying that you forgot that there's a whole careers aspect to help you out. Also, that's very interesting and helpful to know. So obviously, then you found out that career services was there. Can you explain the job portal? Just unpack the job portal that you had, and I think for people maybe they're not aware about the job portal. So, what was that experience like for you specifically applying like a mini Naukri in itself? You just unpack that.
Yeah, sure. So before you so that particular section is linked with your own credentials there. So you have like tabs over there, you can just click over there, and then it will take you to the career section.
Hmm.
And inside the career section you will have job postings. Like, I mean, it's not like LinkedIn, but it's simpler than LinkedIn. You have job postings as labels, and inside it, if you click on it, you will get the job description, you will see what's the role about, where the posting is, how many years of experience does the job require, and it's a one click apply on that.
Hmm.
And if you get shortlisted, you get an email with the probably the if there is a pre-interview questionnaire or a coding exercise
Hmm.
that you need to do, so you do that. And that's how, I mean, that's pretty smooth. That's how I did also. Other than that, I think the career fair that we had was very helpful. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
about job section.
Yeah, I'll come to that, I think. So basically, you're able to apply to various companies from within Upgrade's portal itself, and you have your own login, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Like even like you mentioned, the whole aspect of the career drive. So some of the things that Upgrade does is having hiring drives, across various cities across India. Which is the hiring drive that you attended? Rajat? Was it in which location?
It was in Bangalore, and it was. I think it's in 2019 only. Before I
Okay.
think you.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. The times were very good back then.
Yeah,
Then we had Samsung. We had. I think we had Quantify. We had 4 5 startups, and we had Lenskart also. I remember
yeah,
Lenskart giving a talk. There was a Calm dot work also that
yeah,
came to the talk.
yeah.
And there were
So
a
what
lot
was
of
that
people.
experience like for you? I think so basically just for the attendees understanding that Upgrade has career drives even now, even though it's not offline or online. Where learners like you can come in and apply, to companies there. Now, can you just sort of explain that day? And I think that was the day that you closed an offer as well, right, with Impetus, or
E-
the days
e-
after
e-
that?
No, they shortlisted me. I was the only one to
Okay,
get shortlisted actually, and then they took a month's time. They
to
had
close the
a
offer.
coding round. They had 5 rounds.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. So did you come, to the hiring drive? What was your expectation at that point? What was going on in your mind, and what were you looking forward to, especially essentially? How many short companies did you apply to, and give first rounds for that hiring drive?
yeah. So when I went to the hiring drive, I was very nervous. I was like, "What's going to happen?"
Yeah,
Because I thought what everyone was thinking. I don't have ML experience, right? Who will
yeah,
take me?
correct.
What should I show in my experience? But then, uh, I mean, then I think I applied to probably 10 companies, but I got 5 companies. And so
Mm,
I gave around 5 interviews. There was a Lenskart, and there was, I think, Quantify was also there, but I didn't
yeah,
get back then. And
yeah.
there were 3 other startups, and sorry, 2 other startups and Impetus. That's, I think, five companies
Mm,
total. Samsung, I didn't get shortlisted because they were asking the coding in C, so it was very difficult.
yeah,
I am not that good with C,
yeah,
so Samsung didn't work out. And finally, I was very happy that Impetus worked out, because
yeah,
uh, I was looking for a jump. Somebody takes me as a AI domain role, and once I have that, then I'll make another jump, because that was my plan. I
yeah,
w- I was like, "Ki, let's take this now, and let's learn how the industry works, how the data science pipelines work actually, and then I will make a bigger jump." And that's what I did. So execution was difficult, but it happened.
brilliant, brilliant. So in that journey, you mentioned like how many like interviews did you fail at before you maybe succeeded at your first one? Because you just mentioned that that was your first machine learning role. You didn't have prior experience, and you were very worried. I think many learners also attendees here don't have the prior experience, and they if they do pick up machine learning, they'll be applying to machine learning for the first time.
Hmm.
So obviously you've gone through it. You've come to the other side. Now you're reaping the benefits of putting the effort in.
Yeah.
Now for our attendees also, just sort of unpacking that experience for them will be helpful to see somebody who's went through the same emotions and came out. So not having the relevant experience. So can you just touch upon that?
Yeah, so to be honest, I I have given around 20 25 interviews back then only, and it was very disheartening because I wasn't getting any kind of offer. But what I was doing, what I was doing was, I took the questions.
Mm,
I Whenever I came back to home, I took the questions, I wrote it down in a sheet in my
mm,
computer, and I kept it.
mm,
And then I knew these are the questions, and these are the answers. This is what I need to look for. And I was, when they would ask the questions, I would ask myself, what is my expertise in this area? Because uh, everything won't be covered in the upgrade course, right? Any course, some architectures, anything won't be covered, right? So it's not like I had to, if I look within the bubble, it didn't help. So I had to look outside the bubble also. I was
yeah,
like, let's look at the architectures, because lots of things are going in the industry. So right now, if If I was taking a machine learning interview, I would ask about transformers. Then I would ask about what are image decoders, encoders, why do we need it, and then probably ask about Docker. Why do we need Dockers in that?
Hmm.
So those things have evolved right now. So with the times, I would suggest everyone to update themselves,
Correct.
understand what is going in the industry, because
Hmm.
if you know that, that is, I mean, that's more than enough. If you know what's going in the industry, how things can be executed and all, so that definitely helps.
Yeah, makes sense. That's very informative and helpful. That's interesting. I think like Arijit, just like you know, we've got so many other learners as themselves. I think you failed at 25. We've had learners who failed at 50 to 60 companies also applying, sitting for interviews. But and then like you mentioned is disheartening a lot. And I think at that point, did you find like the personal touch, like you mentioned Mayank, you remember his name, your student mentor, was that helpful in your course? And can you sort of unpack that even for the learners, that personal touch that you might have. I don't know if you experienced it or not, but maybe you can just touch upon the student mentor bit
Yeah.
also.
So my student mentor changed twice actually, but the good part about it was, I mean, it was never like I am not getting interviews. The
Hmm.
interviews are coming right now. I have to do my part. So
Correct.
that's where I was focusing on, and I was, I'm a little bit worried. So then I would call. I mean, I have called Stefan also. I have asked what's going to be the technical round. Please tell me what should I read. And
Yeah.
then there were mock interviews arranged also. I had given mock interviews for Impetus, I think, with
Yes, you did. You did. Quite a few did it. I think you gave.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like that helped. Without the mock interviews and that thing, I mean, when I gave the mock interviews, I knew, okay, this is my situation. I have to fix these things so that
Correct.
if they ask me these things, I can do better.
Yeah.
It's simple, right? I mean,
Yeah. So can you like I think that's also an interesting point. I forgot to talk about the mock interviews. What is that exactly? Just for people who don't know, what is it that Upgrad provides in the mock interviews for you? So what was that experience for you like?
yeah. So mock interviews were like real interviews only, where you have where you have a panelist. So there is a mock interview section in the upgrade module also, I
Mm.
think, where where there is a mock session going on, how interviews happen. And I know that people have uh, issues with the interviews, they get nervous. So that mock interviews thing, when you have such questions, right, because those were very good questions. Even Impetus didn't ask many of the questions.
Yeah.
So that helped.
Mm.
And yeah, what
Yeah.
can I say? And
Yeah.
the best part was, if I didn't know something later on, you would say that this is what you said wrong. The feedback was there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that helped.
So
Yeah.
just for reference, I think for people, like a mock interview is basically like an add-on. You can, if you have a company you want to apply to, you can just reach out and say, hey, can I have a mock interview? And I'm pretty like Arijit did exactly that, I think, with me. And, got a mock interview with some expert, would help basically to calm your nerves essentially when you go for the interview. And did you
uh,
find that helped you a bit, Arijit, like in any way? Or
yeah, it definitely helped you. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean,
yeah,
without that, I mean, I was like very content with what I had learned and all. And
correct, yeah,
then with the mock interview, I realized, okay, I'm missing these points completely. So I need
yeah,
to fix them.
correct.
So
Oh, that's great. Brilliant. I think we'll, come to the Q&A. And I see
yeah.
a few questions, Arijit. A lot of people are asking about salary packages and things like that. Now, you can't give a very hardcore number. That depends on the number of experience, etc., right, that people have. So, what are the various, like a broad scape of packages, and maybe even in your journey, right? Maybe the percentage hikes you have received after picking up machine learning. If you're comfortable to share that, you can also unpack on that and then share some of the salaries people should look at or can expect from your experience.
So so the salary scape is very, irregular in the machine learning scape, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely your experience matters. If you have experience, it helps. Your
Yeah.
previous payslip number helps you get a better pay. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would say that when you are giving interviews, right? I mean, just don't fixate on one company, because the one company that you fixate on, I mean, probably if it's your dream company, then well and good. But if you're just looking out, don't just settle for one organization, keep looking out. And because you never know if there is a better offer in the corner, because
Correct.
that's what you want, right? You want a better role and a better, and I think everybody does that these days. That's no secret.
Yeah,
So
correct.
you get an offer, you look for a better offer. That's how uh, it will help you. And regarding my hikes, so Impetus gave me a 30% hike on my previous package, and from Impetus to Quantify I got a 100% hike.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
brilliant. And
yeah.
like, have you seen like like in your career itself, have you seen like machine learning really helping you grow as an individual, grow in your professional career, essentially, and even grow all across basically? Have you felt or
Yeah,
found that?
uh so machine learning is something like, I mean, it's keeping on expanding. One thing is coming on, there is a new architecture coming on tomorrow. If you
Yeah,
go to Google News, you will see that. So it is ever expanding. I don't think it is going to end, but it is going to get difficult. Yes, it is definitely going to get difficult because there will be more architectures, there will be more hi-fi stuff, but at the same time other stuff will get easier, because right now you have libraries and tools that I didn't see a year back. Now I'm seeing that it is there.
correct.
So in R you have Shiny, and now in Python you have Streamlit. So we I
Correct, correct.
didn't I didn't
Expect that.
yeah, so now Streamlit is there, right? So
Yeah,
preparing a dashboard is very simple. And people who are from analytics background, I think they will benefit this from, I mean, they will benefit the most from this, because they will have experience with tools.
brilliant,
And if you if somebody has a software engineering or a data engineering background, that definitely helps. If you have handled data before, if you have done data warehousing before, if you know SQL and all, that will help you more in the journey, because you will be using it to extract data, you will be using it to do some sort of transformation. And yeah, that's like important.
brilliant.
So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Aditya. That's very like helpful. I think for a lot of the attendees who are joining in. What I'll do now is I think I like quite a lot of questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute someone, maybe
Yeah.
for them just to ask their question. I can see Rajeshwari. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. I see you asked a question about the program and things around that. So I've asked you to unmute. If you'd like to just ask your question publicly to Arijit, you can. You should be able to click on your screen and just say unmute. So I think I'll try to unmute a few of you, and if you'll take some time to unmute yourselves, then I will probably we will have to ask you to go back again. So I don't think Rajeshwari can hear or he's not there, but just to ask his question for him. So he mentioned that I have 9 years, 9 years.
Even I'm,
Oh, hello, hi Rajeshwari.
yeah, I think you people are able to hear me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now we can hear you.
Yeah,
Go.
actually, the background, I mean, career background, what Arjit is having, I'm having the similar kind of background. Like, even I'm having 9 years of experience in same stream Java, and now I want to have the transition to ML programming because I'm also interested in that. So, just wanted to understand. Actually, I'm not having major understanding in Python because I'm totally into Java. So
Hmm.
now I knew the basics of Python. At the same time, ML, I'm completely new to it. So
Okay.
just wanted to understand how many hours he spent. I mean, Ajit, directly to you.
Yeah.
How many
So
hours you spent, and how will be the course? How challenging is the course? Is just wanted to understand from you.
So the course is made in a way to make you feel that it is very simple. I mean, actually it is simple. I mean, if you follow the flow of the course, that should help you to get an idea of how things are. But for any interview, for a specific role that you're looking for, whether it is an open CV engineer, or maybe an NLP scientist, or maybe you have to apply machine learning to RPA automation also, because that, so then in that case, it helps if you have some knowledge about the architectures. And the best way to know about the architectures is to do some kind of competition, read the papers, I mean, regularly go through Medium articles, and you have to be very involved in that. And if you ask me about the hours, so per week, I mean, it varied. On an average, I gave 30 plus hours, yeah, for this course.
In a week, you will spend 30 plus hours.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from yourself, Rajeshwari?
That's the major thing for now.
Okay,
And
great.
thank you.
Thanks, Rajeshwari.
Sure.
Great. I think that's helpful. So, pick up a few other questions. So somebody is in a banking, like Rajeshwari, somebody's in a banking experience, 9 years plus. Can they switch their careers to data science, machine learning, in your opinion? How do they go about that? Another question that has come up.
So financial domain, I think that's where most of the banks are leveraging already. Already, American Express, Bank of America, they do it anyways. And I think if you're thinking about how machine learning can be applied in banking, you have credit fraud detection, right? I mean,
Hmm.
just by seeing your previous transaction, they will be able to tell whether you are going to default or not. And you will have a credit profile also, right? So every data point that you collect, it's going to tell whether you're eligible for loan or not. So they have an initial filtering system these days.
Hmm.
So that uses data science itself. So I mean, regarding banking and financial sector, I think most of the things are kept confidential. But yeah, they use it very extensively. I mean, and if you want to shift from that, take up this course, take up this course from Upgrade, and then get a certification from any kind of cloud provider and all, and then just go for a switch. Simple as that.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to next unmute Umapati, I think, if I'm pronouncing it right. Umapati, can you just, I've asked you to unmute, so maybe you can, just mention or unmute yourself if you can hear and ask your question. You'll have to click on the bottom left of your screen which says unmute, and then you'll be able to talk. It seems like whenever I say, okay, I'll go to the next person, then they unmute, which is funny. Anyways, cool. I'll ask Umapati's question for her. So she asked, I'm a Python full stack developer with 6 years of experience. What is the next step I should take to start my career in machine learning? Will my experience as a full stack developer affect my machine learning job opportunity?
Yeah, it's going to help you. That's what I'm going to. It's going to help you a lot because you are already aware of different modules and libraries in Python, right? So, uh, and if you
Yeah,
ask me where you need to start in machine learning, you need to start with statistics. Then you need to look at probability. Then you need to learn about how I mean hyperplanes work, how vector mathematics work. Then you have to look at matrices and all. Not that you will be using them. I mean line to line, but to understand how the algorithms work, how they're implemented, you need to learn that. It's something like a very basic thing.
got it.
So yeah.
I'm going to allow one more person, Rachel Rodney, if you'd like to unmute yourself. I've asked you to unmute. Can you hear
Hello.
us? Hi, Rachel. Can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, can
Yes.
you hear?
Yeah,
Yes,
hi
yes, we
Rachel.
can hear you.
Yeah, hi Ajit. I have like 3+ years of experience in designing cars, and now I want to switch to ML. And so I'm just worried about how is it going to be relevant in my experience, whether it will be counted. And when it comes to salary hikes, will my experience and my current package be counted, or will I have to start from scratch?
So you were into designing, I mean Java design, is it?
No, 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 cars.
Okay, car
I am,
designing.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
you were
design
in.
cars right now.
So how do you do it using CAD?
Yes, I use CATIA V5.
Okay, so you use CATIA. So like you, I mean, uh, I know that you know how to use the software and all, but other than that, have you like, would you want to code? I mean, because you have to learn Python, or
Yes, I have started learning Python since past 3 months. I have been learning basic
okay.
whenever I get time. So I'm little familiar with the basics of Python, but not like expert or something. But I like coding.
So you are from mechanical background, right? So you
Yes,
must
I'm
have a
from
very good
mechanical.
idea about differentiation, integration, about surface, uh,
Yes.
vector mathematics. So that part is already done for you, I would say. So
Uh-huh.
you just need to look into the coding part.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean how modules are imported, how the algorithms are written into code. You need to look at that. But the maths behind the algorithms, you will be definitely able to understand. So you need little bit help maybe with how to translate it into programming code, how to write it in Python, right?
Okay, right. Thank you. And when it comes to like transition, now will the current package of mine, whatever I'm getting,
Hmm.
will that be counted for getting me like getting placed in the first job of ML, or will I have to start from the scratch again?
So you can project your experience that you were working on something research in machine learning or something. You don't have to be entirely, telling that, okay, I have only used CATIA and I am doing this. You can just tell, that I was doing POCs on machine learning with my experience in designing cars and all. And then though you will show the payslip. In the payslip, it is not written what you do, right?
Right, right, right.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ajit. Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Rachel. Brilliant. So I think a lot of questions, interesting ones. I think it's good to hear. I think refresh in terms of what people are thinking. Whilst they're starting out. So even from Rachel in that case, and I think most of times, even in upgrades, like even from upgrade experience, people who are transitioning or moving, they want pay you less than what you're earning right now, and you need to sort of like Arjit mentioned, you need to showcase your experience. So even if you're an experienced folk, right, if you have 5 years, 10 years experience, one of the things that that makes you very strong is the domain experience that you have. So correct me if I'm wrong, Arjit, but many of our learners who have that experience, maybe 10 years in finance, but aren't working in data science, but now they know so much about the ins and outs of the finance world, for example, that once they get this additional skill to their CV, it doesn't mean that they've lost. They have to start from scratch, but you're sort of you have that strong hold of the domain. Therefore, now you can use this new skill you've learned into the domain knowledge that you have. That doesn't mean that you're going to earn less. You will again get a hike, but
Yeah.
not go less for sure on what you're
So,
earning. Correct me if I'm
so
wrong, Ajit. Any further thoughts on that?
no, no, you're absolutely correct, Stefan. I mean, some companies that are looking for machine learning engineers or a data scientist. Suppose I just spoke to Rodney, right? So
Yeah.
uh, he has a very good experience with designing cars. So
Hmm.
now, if there is a particular opening in, say, a very big automotive company, and
Hmm.
they are looking for a data scientist for some of their work, maybe some surface modeling or maybe some design of car, so they don't want to do it manually, so definitely his experience will come handy because he
Hmm.
will have the domain knowledge.
Yeah.
Similarly, for finance domain, a person who knows what credit fraud looks like, he has seen that and
Yeah.
he has
Correct.
worked on that. So domain experience is inexpensive. I mean, that's like a huge plus point, but it needs to be presented in a particular manner. I mean,
Correct.
that's what matters, how you present to the recruiter.
Got it. That's helpful. And just can you lightly touch upon your industry expert? I don't think you covered that. So who upgrade in its course is for reference. Assigns every learner an industry expert essentially. Whilst you're working through the program. So did you find that piece helpful for you in your learning experience, Arajit? Or who was your industry expert?
That, I mean, I had an industry expert, but I mean, uh, I think when I was in the deep learning module, there was an industry expert assigned to me.
Yeah.
I have, I mean, so that's how, I mean, I actually knew about the image analytics part. That has completely skipped out of my mind. But like, we did get, we had so much of stuff to do. It was going on, interview preparations and all. But like, yeah, you have a separate module for the industry expert where you can just go in and you can tell. And I think uh, in the mid of every module also, you we had some guest lecturer invited for a talk, right, where she would talk about was the credit risk. I mean, somebody who has designed a chatbot, so that definitely helps.
Got it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think we're coming to the end, Arjit, because we're almost done with the hour. Just probably like last couple of questions we'll take in.
Yeah.
Few of the learners are asking, is this specific laptop you need? I think interesting question. They're looking at picking up the program, but they're like, okay, maybe I have an old laptop. What sort of laptop do I need to do the work and maybe use and work on machine learning? Is
Okay.
there something specific, and can you get away with something a bit more basic?
Yeah, so I would just tell everyone to go for Google Colab. Just
Okay.
change the environment to TPU or a GPU and just use it. I know it will
Okay.
disconnect and all, but it's free and you can just do your coding. I mean, if you want to use TensorFlow, somebody who doesn't have a GPU, right? Because most
Hmm.
of the laptops won't have a GPU. So if you
Got it.
want to use TensorFlow GPU, you go there, you change it, and Google Colab is free. You can just go and use it. And
Got it.
even Kaggle gives you GPU access, so you can use that
Brilliant.
also. And I think
Brilliant.
Upgrade also gives you a GPU cloud.
Yeah, correct. We do. Yeah. There's a certain
Yeah.
yeah, we give in house. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just quickly, if you can just touch last two questions, I'll take. What is the program that you pursued with Upgrad? And it's an interesting question I saw. What are three things that you found helpful with Upgrad? The top three things that you found most helpful. So if you can talk about that quickly.
Yeah, so the first thing that I found helpful was the structure of the course. That's
Yeah.
like goes without saying. Is the second is the content of the material and the teachers involved. They were very good. I mean,
Yeah.
Professor Raghavan and the other faculty from Triple IT Bangalore, and there was an intern also involved under Professor Raghavan. He gave a talk on. He was explaining how the code works. That definitely helped because he was a student also, right? So
Yeah.
we were getting his knowledge as well as the filtered knowledge, how it is applied. And the third most important thing is the upgrade staff. I mean, the
Yeah.
entire team, it made things really simple.
Got
If
it.
I have a doubt, if I need help, I would just send an email, or there is a help section. You can just chat with them and somebody will get in touch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much, Arijit, for that. I think very insightful, very helpful session for everyone who is joining in.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Any final thoughts from your side for the learners who are, looking in, not sure about machine learning? Any final thoughts or words of advice from your side?
Yeah, I would suggest that not to be, overwhelmed or scared or anything. I mean, it will take time. But if you work towards it, if you have the determination, it will definitely work out. And
Brilliant.
not to give up, I would say that. You have to stick to the plan. That's what I
Correct.
would say.
Yeah. So make sure are you saying that somebody who wants to learn machine learning, you put your mind to it and you do it. Don't look back and don't think about a thousand other things. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying?
exactly. You need confidence in that I can do this. I
Yeah.
will work for it. That's how you should look at the machine learning course. That's what I think.
Brilliant. I'm glad to hear it. So I think, obviously we have so many open questions and things we might have not been able to pick up.
Yeah,
So can you please write to us at admissions@upgrad.com? We will ensure that, each and every question which might have not been answered and you really are, saying, I need an answer on this, just write to us with that specific question, copy paste it if you have to write down on your phone, laptop. And, we'll make sure, to help you out with the specific question that you have. One question I see continuously coming up, sorry to ask this again, Arjit. So were you an ML practitioner prior to taking up the PGD ML from Upgrad?
okay.
And so was it Upgrad that specifically helped you or enabled you to transition into a senior machine learning engineer role? Please explain. Very like hard words.
Yeah, so I was an analyst, so I was not in ML domain in the first place. So
Yeah,
I got my first ML job from Upgrade itself, and it was with Impetus. So yeah, they helped me to get the job I have right now. It's simple. I mean,
cool.
in few words. Yeah.
Thanks. Brilliant. Well, I think that's it from us. I think we have extended our time by 3 minutes. So thank you so much. I think a lot of good, comments, feedback from learners right now. If you'd like to, quickly, I hope everyone enjoyed this session and found it helpful and informative. Thank you so much, Arijit. I think, very encouraging, very, I think, insightful for many of our attendees also, just for their careers. And I think, for sure, many of the learners who joined in have found some sort of direction and, insight through your career and your journey.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Stefan, and thanks everyone for joining in and listening to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, if you'd like to connect with Arijit, I think when he would like to, Arijit, is it okay if I put your LinkedIn here?
Yeah, sure.
So, I've just put in Arijit's LinkedIn on the chat. So, if you'd like to connect with him, please do, we will have more such sessions with Arijit in the future. We'll make sure that we, get him to also cover a few concepts, maybe in machine learning, so he can, take us through some basics of machine learning for those who might, be interested in that more. So stay tuned for that. I see a few questions for those asking about the machine learning program. How do they begin? So there are three different programs you could pick up. Do you know the three, Arijit? Do you want to cover that, or should I?
Three programs from Upgrade. I mean,
The machine learning ones, yeah. So the certification, the diploma, and the masters, essentially.
yeah. So I think if somebody doesn't have the masters, go for the masters. It helps. I mean, you will have a degree, a full-time thing, and if you have a master's degree and if you still want to learn about machine learning and you, or maybe you're working and all, go for the diploma. I mean,
Mm.
all the courses are good. It just depends on, I mean, what you are looking for, and maybe the dream company that you're aiming for, just look for that. What does it need? Do you
Yeah,
need it or not? Simple.
correct. Correct. So the process to apply for the machine learning program is, you go to Upgrade's website. I've posted the link in there. That's the PGDML, so the postgraduate diploma in machine learning. If you are interested also to doing the master's program, then you can also check out the master's program which I've pasted here, and you can take a look at that. Just to answer Arijit, what are the prerequisites you needed to apply? Was there a test? I presume you know about the test that you have to give,
Yeah,
right?
there was a test. There was a test on basic probability and some maths and some coding. Very, very basic Python. Very, very basic Python. And I would say it was easy. And
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that's pretty much. So for you, if you want to apply for the program, you have to go on Upgrade's website, start your application. Maybe I can share it with you quickly. I'll just share my screen possibly so that that becomes visible. Is my screen visible,
Yeah,
Arjit?
I can see it.
Okay, brilliant. So if you want to apply, you just come to upgrade.com. You come to the website. You'll be able to see all the different programs. You go to machine learning. You'll be able to see the various programs. We have various programs in machine learning. To start your application, there's a button which says actually start your application here. I've already started it. Just to test out the communications, etc. So you click on this, you'll be able to continue your application and go through the entire process, which I'm not going to go through, where you have to give all your various aspects about your profile. Post which you can start a test essentially. And how long was the test for? Do you remember, Arijit?
I think it was 30 minutes, not more
Correct.
than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a short test, not very long. It just sort of like Arijit covered what it what you have to what a test of yours. And this is again, if you are interested and you want to look at is machine learning the right aspect or place for you, you can just give the test and see how it performs for you essentially, and what you can do next. So in terms of you want more details about the particular program, you can come here, check out the syllabus. Did you? I'm presuming even you went through this, Arijit.
Yeah.
And what helped you? I mean, what are the areas that you looked at when you were looking at the program page to understand more about the program?
I looked at the syllabus
Okay,
because the syllabus is very, detailed. And then I had contacted also for another updated calendar. So there was
right.
a calendar where you have all the courses and modules written with the exams. So the 11-month course broken down. So I found it very extensive,
Yeah,
and that's why I went for it.
brilliant. So you can, yeah, like Arijit also went to the syllabus. Just download your syllabus here. You'll get the email straight away into your inbox. You look at the various tools, etc. that you'll be working, the certifications you'll get. You got your certificate as well, Arijit?
Yeah, it exactly looks like this.
It looks like this, eh? And
Yeah,
it has your name from Triple
yeah,
ID
yeah.
Bangalore.
And there's a transcript with it also.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So how does that help you in the longer run, Arijit? Like, you
So
feel like
yeah, so I have also applied for PR outside,
okay,
and I have sent my credentials over there. So having the transcript and degree helped me. I mean,
brilliant.
yeah.
So did you? How did you have to do that process of getting the credits?
The credits are already there, right? I just had to email Triple IT Bangalore because they are the issuing authority, right?
Yeah,
So you have a group, I think, with Upgrade and Triple
correct.
ITB, and they took some 500, I think, for the certificate, and that's it. And then they mailed it to the certification verification authority. So
Brilliant.
that's it. Yeah,
Okay. And it
it's.
was a simple process. How long did the process take?
I mean, just a day. I mean, I mailed in the next
Okay,
day. They sent. It's very
brilliant.
straightforward.
Brilliant.
No
Cool.
codes in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you can take a look at the website. It gives all the details, all the various program pages, the personalized mentorship, networking, like Arijit mentioned, career assistance you will receive, the syllabus, things like that, the various projects. Which are the most interesting project you worked on, Arijit, from all of these?
The few of the projects are new. I didn't have these projects. So, uh, gesture recognition was the one I enjoyed the most because
Okay.
that's like where you head into image recognition. And then
Hmm.
then there was a case study on Geely Auto. So that
Okay.
was again very interesting. And the
Yeah.
most difficult project was on reinforcement learning with that
Hmm.
Uber cab driver.
Brilliant.
RL is pretty tough. Yeah, the maximizing profit of cab driver using RL.
Brilliant.
So that was
Great.
tough.
So
Yeah.
did you feel that case these these projects helped you to understand more?
Yeah, definitely help. I still refer to them today also. Whenever I
Really?
get, yeah, some pieces of code are so nicely commented and all, I use them a lot.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
Sounds good. And I think you talked a lot about the industry experts, right? On the professors.
yeah.
Which is your favorite professor from this, which helped you the most?
I like favorite professor, Professor Raghavan and Professor Tricha. Professor Tricha gave us the talk on statistics and probability. I think
Hmm.
she explained the t-test. Yeah, that's my favorite professor.
Yeah,
I,
Professor Raghavan.
yeah, Professor Raghavan, Srinivas Raghavan. He's very good. Like
Are you still in touch? Do you talk or and connect with the professors?
I mean, I wish to, but like uh,
No time.
yeah.
Hmm. Brilliant. Yeah, and you can take a look just in the career services, the various companies our learners are working at the moment. I think we should add Quantify, not Quantify, the Impetus as well, and take a look.
Sure.
Brilliant. I think that's pretty much it for those who want to understand more about Upgrade. I'll just post the link again. But yeah, I think thank you so much. I'm so sorry for taking 10 minutes extra of your time, Arijit.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no issues. It was
yeah.
nice. So thanks
Yeah.
again, everyone.
Thanks, Arijit. I think you can drop off, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks everyone for joining in. I hope that we were able to answer each and every question of yours. Uh, you know, do keep in touch and write to admissions@upgrad.com if you have any specific queries we weren't able to answer. Please do note it down. We'll make sure we answer them for you. Thanks everyone. Do stay safe. Do stay indoors and have a good evening. Good night.
Ah,
Thanks,
good
Arijit.
night, everyone. Bye, Sufa. Bye. Yeah.